What is going on, guys? It is Wrestlelamia here, back with some more news. Join us now as Wrestlelamia looks at the wildest news and rumors you need to know, including Vince instantly dropping pushes for 3 WWE superstars, AEW accused of lack of diversity, a racist wrestler has been removed from AEW, wrestlers are promoting positivity and change, WWE is making more cuts, a Vince McMahon biography in the works, and much more. Be sure to subscribe and hit that notification bell for daily wrestling videos. Let's hit the intro because it's now time for the news. Now our first story looks at Vince instantly dropping pushes for 3 WWE superstars. Now, as we've mentioned many times before, we'd love to know what goes on in Vince McMahon's head and why he thinks that certain talent, despite being hugely over with the crowd, will not be a good draw. Sometimes McMahon has to eat his own words, as some superstars like Daniel Bryan, who Vince actually hated to start with simply because he was a vegan, couldn't ignore his popularity any longer, and the rest was of course history. However, with these 3 superstars, Vince had plans to push them, but dropped plans instantly without any reason. According to Meltzer, these 3 superstars in question are Humberto Carrillo, Ricochet, and Cedric Alexander, all of whom enjoyed a brief push but are now barely getting any wins or any exposure. You just gotta look how Humberto has been booked in the last few weeks to know that Vince doesn't see anything in him. But it's not all doom and gloom, as at one point Vince wanted to stop plans on Apollo Crews' push, but look at him now, he's the United States champion. Hopefully somewhere down the line, Vince will change his mind. And it's pretty guaranteed he will. Next up, AEW is accused of a lack of diversity. Now, part of All Elite Wrestling's hype when it launched was that the promotion was going to be inclusive. However, over a year has passed since AEW's debut and some are asking, where's the diversity? Justin Gray asked, how are you going to preach diversity yet you won't hire black wrestlers who are equally talented, if not more talent? And now you won't stand up for black people's human rights. I'm all the way good on going to Jacksonville. AEW Vice President Cody Rhodes responded to the criticism, saying, one of our first champions was a black man. We have the only black executive in wrestling history as part of our core infrastructure as well. Our fans are beyond valued. I'd encourage you to watch my interview from this past week where I spoke directly to the viewer at home. With issues of race and ethnicity more prevalent than ever, do you think AEW needs to take more action to address these complaints? What do you think of AEW's track record so far in being an inclusive promotion? Let us know in the comments down below. Next up, a racist wrestler has been removed from AEW. Now, Clutch Adams is an independent wrestler who was used on the May 19th edition of AEW Dark, where he was in a squash match against QT Marshall. However, after recent comments were surfaced by a Twitter user of Clutch Adams using racist and homophobic remarks, the decision has been made to remove that match from the show. Cody tweeted, his match has been removed. Now, there's definitely no place for these kind of remarks in wrestling and or in any other sport. Wrestlers have got to wise up. If you've done this stuff in the past, people are gonna dig it up. No matter if your views have changed or not, your career is over. Next up, WWE wrestlers are promoting positivity and change. The current social unrest in the United States has people concentrated, but it also has people striving for positive change, as seen by those stories involving WWE superstars. The Wrestling Observer discussed how Bianca Belair and Montez Ford started a website, The Culture Connection, with a mission as follows: advocate, learn, share, interact, and promote positivity. We want to assist those who want to take action, advocate, learn, and more, but don't know where to look or start. We aim to create a space for all who are interested in taking action by providing an array of information that brings awareness to opportunities to volunteer, advocate, and donate in regards to current issues and events affecting black people. We also promote educating and re-educating yourselves and others by providing book suggestions, videos, documentaries, news articles, facts, etc. that we feel touch on black culture, history, entertainment issues, and topics. The Observer also mentioned that Titus O'Neil, Batista, Police Chief Brian Duggan, and Sheriff Chad Chronister met via Instagram for a 60-minute talk about George Floyd, racism, police brutality, and what needs to be changed. WWE superstar Mustafa Ali tweeted about the George Floyd case. I'm a former police officer. I joined the force because I believe the only real way to bring change to policing is from within. I remember being told empathy will get you killed. No lack of empathy allows you to kill. We have to change policing from within. And like always, there's gonna be some comment about you are part of the problem. No, I saw the problem and I did something to combat it. Countless times I showed up and put a stop to any sort of harassment / excessive force. You can't change anything sitting behind a screen. The point of all this is simple. Society, and specifically our African American brothers and sisters, have a justifiable distrust with the police. It's the responsibility of the police to fix that issue, but they won't. Thus, it's on us as a society to force that change from within. These stories and comments show just how diverse the WWE is and how various superstars bring a variety of experiences and worldviews. It's good to see them sharing these experiences with people, not as celebrities preaching at people, but as fellow human beings calling for change and vocalizing their own life story. Next up, WWE is making more cuts. Now, according to several sources including WrestleZone, the WWE is continuing to make cuts, and cost-effective measures at WWE are continuing, with company executives and officials receiving notices that they will be facing potential pay cuts due to the pandemic and how it has affected the business of WWE. While it's unknown exactly what measures the company will take, it seems as if they continue to look to save money as the pandemic continues. While the WWE has made cuts and released wrestlers, it seems to be doing well financially, but at the same time is trimming the fat due to the lean times many individuals and businesses are facing. According to Meltzer, this also includes producers and referees. WWE cut the payoff, I believe, for all the producers, if not most, and that was told the referees. I don't know if it's all, but most. I don't know how much. People told me the numbers were 20%. It's also interesting that higher-ups like Vince McMahon don't seem to be taking pay cuts in order to resolve the issue. Next up, NIA JAX was the reason why the buckle bomb was banned. Now, in case you haven't heard, and we've done a whole video about this, the WWE has banned the buckle bomb. Now, while we noted in that video, it's not unknown whether it was because of NIA JAX's recent reckless actions or due to past superstars like Sting getting injured and being retired because of it. We now know from Wrestling Observer's Dave Meltzer that the move had mainly been banned because of NIA JAX. Dave Meltzer explained, "You know, it's one of those things because of what happened to Sting. I was surprised banning the move didn't happen then. There were people who were wanting it banned before that. It was one of those things where there were people who were against it, and then when that happened with NIA JAX and Kairi Sane, that was the straw that broke the camel's back, and Vince bent." As we mentioned in our video, we didn't feel that the move was actually too dangerous, but it's how people execute the move that matters the most. Finn Balor chose a risky spot by the barricade, Sting was pretty much too old, and NIA JAX was just totally reckless. In fact, Hurricane Shane Helms even commented on Twitter, "I did the vertebreaker, arguably the most dangerous move in the business, and never hurt anyone. It's not the move, it's the execution." We agree 100%. If you want to know more, be sure to check out our recent video on the matter. Next up, a Vince McMahon biography is in the works. The wrestling industry has seen an unbelievable number of biographies about wrestlers, some good and some, well, quite awful. However, one person who has never had an authorized biography is Vincent Kennedy McMahon, whose life story is the kind that needs to be told in all its glorious details. While it's unlikely we'll get the real scoop on Vince's life, author Abraham Reisman revealed, "I come bearing good news. I'm writing another book. This one's a biography of Vince McMahon, the Emperor of Professional Wrestling. Release date to be determined, but I guess 2022. Many thanks to my amazing agent Ross Harris and my tremendous editor Amar Diol. Wish me luck." Reisman also wrote True Believer, The Rise and Fall of Stan Lee, which is set to be released this September. Vince has been seemingly upfront in past interviews, such as the one he did for Playboy back during the Attitude Era, but with the authorized biographies, you never know what has been edited out in order for it to get published. And finally, Haku remembers an insane Andre the Giant story. The two things fans never seem to tire of hearing are Andre the Giant drinking stories and the tales of toughness concerning WWE superstar Haku, aka Meng. While we don't have a 2-4 with a drinking story and a story of Haku beating up a bar full of drunks, we do have Haku sharing his memories of drinking with Andre. Longtime fans will remember that Haku teamed with Andre as the WWF Tag Team Championship duo The Colossal Connection. Speaking in the In-Room podcast, Haku remembered, "Andre thought he was the same as you. He never thought he was bigger. If he drank 16 beers, you had to drink 16 beers with him. If he drank 2 or 3 cases, you had to drink 2 or 3 cases with him. There were so many times I had to find the door on the way back to my room. He thought it was funny." The thought of anyone, even a wrestler, trying to keep up with Andrea drinking seems physically impossible. But there you have it guys, the wildest news stories and rumors you need to know. Be sure to leave your comments down below, subscribe if you haven't already, follow us on Instagram and Twitter, and I'll see you next time with some more wrestling content.